Hey everybody, it is your old pal Simply Super Dave coming at you with another installment to the top 10 films of all time according to me, Mr. Simply Super Dave. We have worked our way all the way to the top 3 films of all time, in my opinion, of course. Let's not go ahead and trick people. He said it's the best movie ever. I know that everybody has their favorite film of all time, okay? And this is just my personal list. So don't be running around saying, this guy thinks this is the best. No, this is the best movie according to me of all time. But we haven't gotten there yet. We're only on number 3. So we still got 2 more to go. Let's go ahead and recap our countdown so far. Number 10 was the movie True Romance. A lot of people won't put this one in a top 10 list. I do, because it's just a straight up fun action movie to watch. One of them adventures that normal people end up on. Next thing you know, it's a police story. But True Romance is definitely in my top 10. An all-star ensemble cast. You got to look it up yourself. 1992, great year. Number 9 was the Best Picture winner from 1999, and it was American Beauty, starring Kevin Spacey and Annette Bening. Number 8 knocked out Titanic from my top 10 list. The Big Lebowski. That's right, Jeff Bridges, The Dude Abides, definitely in my top 10 list. Number 7 was the Best Picture winner from the greatest year of cinema movie history, 1994, Forrest Gump. That's right, Forrest Gump, run, Forrest, run! Hitting number 7 on my top 10 list of movies of all time. Man. Number 6 was the most modern entry in my top 10 list. It was Avengers Endgame. The reason why I picked this particular superhero movie was because it was the culmination of all the storylines from 2008, Iron Man, all the way up until when this movie came out. And there were so many great comic book moments in this movie that if you're a comic book fan, then Avengers Endgame is probably your top superhero film of all time. Number 6 was, of course, Avengers Endgame. Number 5 was, from 1994, the greatest year in cinema movie history, The Shawshank Redemption. Oh my gosh, with Tim Robbins and the iconic Morgan Freeman, directed by Frank Darabont, written by the great Stephen King, one of those novels that didn't quite have a horror or superstitious kind of thing going on in it. It was just a normal story from Stephen King. And it was a great story, mostly about no matter where you are, there you are. And no matter what prison they lock you up, you're still free inside. It's up to you, folks. You got to find that redemption in your life. And so The Shawshank Redemption is definitely a noteworthy film that everybody needs to see. Number 4 also comes from the year 1994. The Crow, starring the late, great Brandon Lee, son of iconic martial arts, Bruce Lee, movie star, everything. Brandon Lee will be forever remembered, especially for being in this film. He had a couple of other small films, Showdown in Little Tokyo, Rapid Fire, all came out before The Crow did. But The Crow, he was actually killed during the filming of the movie, which is about a man that comes back from the death for revenge. Just a little too ironic, but it is what makes the movie so appealing. And without a doubt, do not recommend the sequels, but if you ever need to check out a classic film that deals with true love and the dark side of life, then The Crow is definitely the film you need to go with. That brings us to number 3. What would number 3 possibly be? Oh, again, from the year 1994, in my opinion, the best picture of the year that year would have to be Pulp Fiction. That's right, Pulp Fiction, the great Quentin Tarrentino movie that put him on the map, even though Reservoir Dogs already did that for film lovers. But Pulp Fiction put him in superstar status, and he's been riding that wave ever since. If you have not seen Pulp Fiction, then you are missing out. That's all I got to say. all-star ensemble cast. I can't even begin or end with how many great people were in this movie. But alone, Samuel L. Jackson, John Travolta really do carry the film. With some great roles from the great Bruce Willis, Ving Rhames. Oh my God, so many people in this movie. Eric Stoltz is even in the movie. Uma Thurman in a role that she will always be remembered for, playing the great Mia Wallace. Soundtrack, again, another notable soundtrack. 1994 was the year of soundtracks as well. Movies weren't just big movies as much as you had to go get the soundtrack. And when listening to that soundtrack, makes you want to watch the movie again. Anyway, so check out that soundtrack, because Quentin Tarantino definitely brings back some old school favorites from his time in the late 60s and 70s to introduce into the mid 90s. Really carrying on that tradition of old school filmmaking. And without a doubt, one of the best movies ever made. From 1994, the great Pulp Fiction. So definitely go check out number 3 on my top 10 list, Pulp Fiction. That's going to wrap it up for now. Definitely, we got 2 more entries to go. What will number 2 and number 1 be? Oh my gosh, if you know me pretty well, you might know what number 1 might be, but what will number 2 be? I'll tell you this much, it's not going to be from the year 1994. We have definitely put our 1994 films in our top 10 list. The next 2 won't be from that year, so I'll give you that little bit of a hint. Other than that, I hope everybody has a sensational Saturday, as it is Saturday, the day after February 13th, so it's Saturday the 14th. Hope everybody made it through Friday the 13th. And don't forget, when life is a little tough on you, when you feel like you're a little bit down, remember, a little love and laughter can go a long way and conquer that hate and fear. Go be a conqueror, folks. Don't be a victim. And I'll see you for number 2.